Namaste everyone, welcome to Physio Vitals. I am Dr. Ankita Sawant and today's video is all about bones of upper limb, particularly clavicle. So out of 206 total bones in man, upper limb consists of 64 bones, 32 bones at each side, right and left respectively. So clavicle is a Latin word which means a small key. It consists of a cylindrical part called as shaft and two lateral ends, two ends, one lateral and one medial. Now side determination. The lateral end is flat from above downward and the medial end is large and quadrilateral. The shaft is slightly curved. See, the shaft is slightly curved so that it is convex forward. It is convex forward in its medial 2/3 and concave forwards in its lateral 1/3. The inferior surface is grooved longitudinally in its middle 1/3. Moving further to peculiarities of the clavicle. Only long bone that lies horizontally. It is subcutaneous throughout. That's the reason we can palpate it very easily. It's the first bone to ossify. Only long bone which ossifies in membrane. It has two primary centers of ossification. It has no medullary cavity and occasionally pierced by middle supraclavicular nerve. Now features of the shaft. The lateral 1/3 of the shaft is flattened from above downward. It has two borders, anterior and posterior. So lateral 1/3 of the shaft, this is anterior, this is posterior. So it has two borders, anterior, posterior. Anterior border is concave forwards. The posterior border is convex backwards. This part of the bone has two surfaces, superior and inferior. The superior surface is subcutaneous and the inferior surface presents an elevation called as conoid tubercle and ridge called as trapezoid ridge. Now moving further to the middle 2/3. Middle 2/3, it is rounded, of the shaft is rounded and is said to have four surfaces. The anterior surface is convex. Anterior surface is convex. The posterior surface is smooth. The superior surface is rough in its medial part. The inferior surface has a rough oval impression at the medial end. The lateral half of this surface has a longitudinal subclavian groove. The nutrient foramen lies at the later end of the groove. Now lateral and medial ends of the clavicle. Ends. We discussed about shaft ka lateral and medial. Now we are discussing about the ends of the clavicle. तो lateral या तो फिर acromial end is flattened. This is lateral, this is medial. So it is flattened from above downwards. It bears a facet that articulates with acromion process of the scapula to form the acromioclavicular joint. Now the medial end or the sternal end is quadrangular and articulates with the clavicular notch of the manubrium sterni. So here this is manubrium sterni. Here clavicle comes and attaches. This joint formed over here is sternoclavicular joint. The articular surface extends to the inferior aspect for articulation with the first costal cartilage. Moving further to the attachments. The lateral end, the margin of the articular surface for its acromioclavicular joint gives attachment to the joint capsule. Alright. Then the medial end, the margin of the articular surface for the sternums give attachment to the fibrous capsule of the sternoclavicular joint. All around there is an articular disc posterior superiorly, interclavicular ligament. Now lateral 1/3 of the shaft. Lateral 1/3 of the shaft. Anteriorly it gives origin to the deltoid muscle. Posteriorly it provides insertion to the trapezius. Moving further, the conoid, tubercle and trapezoid ridge gives attachment to the conoid and trapezoid part of coracoclavicular ligament. Here Alright. Now the medial two-third of the shaft. Medial two-third of the shaft. Most of the anterior surface gives origin to the pectoralis major. See, this is pectoralis major. Now, so anterior surface gives origin to pectoralis major. Half of the rough superior surface gives origin to the clavicular head of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Here it is sternocleidomastoid muscle. The oval impression of the inferior surface at the medial end gives attachment to the costoclavicular ligament. The subclavian groove gives insertion to the subclavius muscle. Here is the subclavius groove which gives insertion to the subclavius muscle. The margin of the groove gives attachment to the clavipectoral fascia. The posterior surface close to medial end gives origin to sternohyoid muscle. Now, ossification. The clavicle is the first bone to ossify, as I mentioned earlier, except for its medial end. It ossifies in membrane. The medial end, it ossifies in membrane. It ossifies from two primary centers and one secondary centers. It has two primary and one secondary center. The two primary centers appear in the shaft. This is the shaft area. So, the two primary centers appear in the shaft between 5th to 6th week of intrauterine life and fuses about 45th day. Alright. Now, the secondary center for the medial end appears during 15 to 17 years and fuses with the shaft during 21 to 22 years. Occasionally, there may be a secondary center for the acromial end. Moving further to the clinical anatomy. The clavicle is commonly fractured by falling on an outstretched hand. The most common site of fracture is the junction between the two curves. So, this is the junction between the two curves. This is the part where the clavicle is most commonly fractured, which is a weakest point. Alright, so that point is the weakest point. The lateral fragment is displaced downwards. Now see, whenever the clavicle is fractured over here, this is the lateral and this is the medial. So the lateral fragment displaces downwards by the weight of the limb, as trapezius muscle alone is unable to support the weight of upper limb. Because here we have a shoulder joint, we have humerus, so the weight of the upper limb displaces it downwards, and trapezius is not that strong enough to counterpart that weight. That's the reason it is displaced downwards. Now, the clavicle may be, what is cleidocranial dysostosis? The clavicle may be congenitally absent. See, as seen in this X-ray, there is no clavicle. Alright, so cleidocranial dysostosis may be, the clavicle may be congenitally absent or imperfectly developed in a disease called cleidocranial dysostosis. In this condition, the shoulder droops and can be approximated anteriorly in front of the chest, as seen in the X-ray. The reference of the book is B.D. Chaurasia's Human Anatomy, Volume 1. I hope you liked the video and it was useful for you all. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.